Yeah, howdy folks, me again. I recently came across a website, a Quora, where people can ask all kinds of questions and so on. And one question is about, I'm a Bible science guy, Bible and science guy, that's my thing, so to speak. I like science, I'm doing science, I'm a scientist myself, chemistry is my field. One of the things that I came across, one question, and I like to answer it in here on YouTube with a video, and it is about evolution, of course, and breeding. Now, lots of people say that evolution is true. Well, it's not. It's a hoax. It never happened, and the Bible is correct again, and also proven correct. And one thing that proves that evolution is not real, it's not real, is the breeding. What people are doing with breeding. In human history, humans have breeded all kinds of animals and plants a billion times over by now. And like dogs, they have breeded dogs, they have breeded horses to make them stronger and faster and work harder and whatever kind of things. They breeded roses and many kind of organisms have they been breeding billions of times over by now. And but it proves that, yes, it only proves that the variation is real, but it does not go beyond variation. You see, yes, indeed, variation is real. That's observable. We have observed variation within that organism, type of organism. You have the big dogs, small dogs with long hair, long ears, short hair, short ears, short tails, long tails, whatever. That's all, but it's still a dog. Variation, yes, I agree. No trouble with variation. But breeding shows us that evolution is not true. That only variation is how far you can go with in breeding and in genetic stuff. The genetic information is still remain the same or becomes less, becomes degenerated, and that's why you get different dogs within the dog organism type of organism. But you will never, ever, or it must be genetically manipulated by humans. That's another thing. I'm not talking about that. But without genetic manipulation by humans, a dog will always be and remain a dog. It will never gain wings. It will never gain a fishing tail or an umbrella tail against the rain. It will never do that. Never, ever, never. Not by natural things. And the same with horses, the same with roses, stuff like that. You can breed until endlessly, but it will never gain extra genetic information unless you bring it into it, like genetic manipulation. Today, people are very able to genetically manipulate organisms, but it's very dangerous. I would not recommend it. God originally created organisms perfect. Stay out of that. Stay out of that. It's dangerous. You don't know what you're doing. You think that you know what you're doing, but you're not. In the end, you're not. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Genetic manipulation. Stay off of it. It's in the end, in the long run, you don't know what you do, and you may cause only damage. It will only cause damage. That's a warning. By now, we as people have breeded some organisms billions of times over, really billions of times over, and not even the slightest trace of evolution has been noted, which proves that evolution is not valid. It's a non-valid hypothesis. It's not proven, not even by the most influential process, breeding. I mean, you take a lot of genetic other organisms, and you breed them because mutations do happen, but it's also always degenerative. It breaks down. The cause of mutations is radioactive decay of natural elements like a carbon-14. In the body you have that, also in your DNA, and it can break down. It will turn into nitrogen-14. So that brings about a new mutation. Copy errors brings about mutations. Cosmic radiation brings about mutation. Chemicals. I mean, people do a lot of barbecuing stuff, but sometimes meat get black, and it's hardly. It's an ill-advised to ill-advised to eat that black meat. It's not good for you. There are also a lot of carcinogenic chemicals. I'm a chemist. There is a lot of carcinogenic chemicals, and that can change your DNA. It causes mutations. What else? Natural radiation from the environment that you're in. It's a never-ending process. So if evolution would be true, you would have seen it by the dozens, but you don't. All these driving forces, all the chemicals, the natural decay and stuff, copper errors and stuff, it's always destructive. It can never create. You see, there is what I call the fourth law of thermodynamics. You always need intelligence in order to guide random energy input, which this is. I mean, cosmic radiation is random energy input. Natural decay is random energy input. It pops apart and releases energy, stuff like that. So all these forces are destructive unless an intelligent system is able to guide it constructively. But all these sources of the driving forces of mutations are random, without input of intelligence. And random input of energy is always destructive or neutral at best. And breeding proves it. Breeding is one of the a good proof that evolution is not true. Yes, it proves variation, but always within the limits of that organism. A rose will stay a rose, a horse will stay a horse, a dog will stay a dog, humans will stay humans, apes will remain apes, and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. You can breed a billion times over again. I don't care. You will never see evolution. Never. And people have done it. I mean, it's breeding has been going on for many thousands of years already. And not even slightest indication that evolution has been observed. Not even the slightest. Even after a couple of thousand years, you should at least see something. But the only thing you see is variation. A dog remains a dog. And yes, they may have originated from a wolf. But it's from a wolf to a dog is hardly. You cannot call that evolution. It's variation. I agree with variation. Variation is scientific. Evolution is not scientific, and there is no proof for evolution whatsoever. You may believe it, but then you have a religious system. It's a religion. It's a belief system. You may believe it, but there's no observable proof for it. For variation, yes, that's scientific. I agree with you on that. That's scientifically proven that variation is correct. But variation is not evolution, because it will never, a dog will not gain a fishtail whatsoever, no matter how much they play in the water. Stuff like that. I mean, People. There was also a question on Quora about that people will, if they swim a lot and do a lot of kind of stuff, will they gain gill slits again? No, sorry, they won't. How do we know? In Asian countries, many people are fishermen by diving. They dive to clams and mussels and stuff like that to eat them, and maybe fishes and crabs and stuff like that. They have done that for thousands and thousands of years already. Have they gone? Have they have gill slits or indications to have gill slits? No, it's baloney. And by the way, the embryo that's a lie from Ernst Haeckel, that the so-called embryo would have shown gill slits. I'm sorry, that's not gill slits. If you have an embryo, then you see little bumps where supposedly gills would have been. No, they are the first initial beginnings of glands. It has nothing to do with gills, nothing whatsoever. It didn't even originate from it. These are the seeds or the beginnings of glands that are in your body or in this area. So this is what I want to share, folks. Breeding dogs, breeding horses, breeding roses shows us that evolution is not a science fact. Breeding shows that variation is a science fact, but not evolution. Okay, this is what I want to share with you. And again, the Bible is correct and right in it. Yeah, well, this was it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hasta la vista.